Hey guys, this is Chase with Outback Landscape. Right now we're doing irrigation sprinkler startups, and we want to show you the proper way to turn on your own irrigation system if that's something you want to do. First step is to go downstairs and turn on the main water, and we'll head down there and show you that right now. We're down here in the basement getting ready to turn on the main water. If you look here, this is the main water supply to the house. You can see that comes from the loop, and you'll see a T here. This valve is off because it's perpendicular to the pipe. Parallel means that it's on. So because this is perpendicular, this is off, this is the sprinkler loop. This here is a drain. The function of this is when this valve is off, you can open this valve up and it will back drain any water between here and your anti-siphon device outside. So the first step that we'll want to do is we'll want to shut that drain off, and then we'll want to slowly pressurize the ball valve here, and you'll hear it start to kick on. Make sure there's no water, and then you can finish turning it on. That's all we have to do inside the house. Let's go outside and I'll show you the rest. Now that we're outside, we'll show you the next step. This is your PVB, or your anti-siphon device. The function of this is to make sure that nothing back drains into your sprinkler system. If you were to fertilize your lawn and you were to water, for some reason that water could backdraw through this. Without having this here, it could contaminate your water, get fertilizer in your drinking water, things like that. So this is the barrier between keeping your kids and your family safe and your main water supply and your sprinklers outside. So the first thing that you want to look at here are these 1/4-inch valves. Before we turn the water on, we made sure that these are all off. That means they're perpendicular to the pipe here and the ball is shut off, so that when we turn the water on downstairs, nothing is shooting out on the outside. The next thing that we want to do is turn the water on slow, and you'll hear it here. This works like a plunger, so you'll see this in a minute. You hear it kick, and then you can open it on the rest of the way. It may bleed some water a little bit as it starts up. That's just this top sealing. Now you can see that water is stopped, so there's no problems there. One of the things you're gonna wanna look for too, over the winter, make sure there's no cracks right on the ball valve anywhere. If you leave both ball valves turned completely off in the middle of the winter, what'll happen is water gets trapped in there and it splits out right on the ball. So then it leaks opposite. So when that's shut off, it leaks. When it's turned on, it won't leak. And so usually that's one of the biggest things we see is we have to repair those. The ported valves are the most expensive to repair, sometimes $50, $60 a piece. So you wanna make sure that when the system does get winterized, you leave these at a 45-degree angle and not completely off. Now that the system's on, we're gonna go to the sprinkler clock and we're gonna test all of the zones to make sure that everything works good and there's no leaks near the basement and everything is adjusted correctly. Now that we're here at the sprinkler controller, we're gonna show you how to run a test cycle and check all of the zones to make sure that everything's functioning correctly. The clock here is off from the winter. We're gonna turn that to test all stations. You'll see there's 2 minutes here. That'll run every station for 2 minutes. So we're gonna start there, press and hold, start a manual cycle, and you can hear them starting up. So we'll go take a look and watch these run. So now we've got station 3 running. We want to check all the heads, make sure they're straight up and down. We want to make sure they're level. If a head is out of level, that'll create some dry spots. The other thing we want to check with the adjustable rotors is we want to make sure that they haven't moved over the winter, so they line up with the property line. They're not overshooting onto the patio, hitting the house. So you want to go check all those perimeter heads, turn them from side to side, make sure that still works. Sometimes the gears can get stripped out in them as well. That can be from sand in the water, things like that. So you want to make sure that you can still adjust them, make sure they turn, and make sure that they're still functioning properly. So we've shut down the system, we've checked everything, and we notice we have a sprinkler zone here that's not totally shutting off. This is probably from a weak diaphragm inside the valve. You can hear it in there, it kicks on, and then it tries to shut off, and it just can't quite turn off. One of the things to check, depending on the valve that it is, you can take a look at the valve. Sometimes you can hear which one that is. Sometimes what happens, you get some dirt or debris over the winter in there, and that'll clog that. So what you do is shut the water off, open that up, clean that diaphragm. It's a little plastic piece inside there. Put it back together, try it again. If that doesn't work, then we'll want to just replace the valve and put a new one in. And that's something that our service guys can do, and service that we provide, put that back in, test it, and that would solve that problem. So one of the things I'm going to try is just to make sure the solenoid's off all the way beforehand, because they may be open from the winterization, and that's it. That fixed it right there. So check the solenoids, you don't have to replace the valve, and that takes care of it. And everything's shut down, so everything looks good.